Hey everyone, good morning and welcome to our LakePoint Junior High online family experience. My name is Pastor Ethan and I'm so excited that you are participating online today. You might be watching for the first time today, or maybe you've been watching every week since April. But regardless of how many times you've watched and participated online and listened to me for like 20 minutes, there's always something new that you can learn. And so today, I thought, why not tell a little something about me so that all of our viewers today can get to know me a little better? Well, to be honest, there's a lot of things I could tell you today, like maybe my favorite color, or what's on my bucket list, or who I had a crush on in grade 8, or what groceries I have to buy today. But I thought, that's not really that personal. All of those are just random facts. What I want to do is I want to share something with you so that whether you're online or on site, we can connect in a better way. And so today I want to share with you something personal, something vulnerable, something that's even somewhat embarrassing. You see, at the time of filming this video, like right now in present time, I have something called an ingrown toenail. Now, some of you just got really grossed out and turned off your screen because you know what an ingrown toenail is. But for those of you who don't, it's when the corner or the side of a toenail grows into the flesh of your toe. Gross, right? And so the result of this is pain, redness, sometimes swelling, and if you don't look after it right away, sometimes it can get all gross and infected. So there you go. I've got an ingrown toenail. And there's no reason at all for sharing that with you other than we're starting a brand new series today called It's Personal. And so I thought, why not share a personal story? And what's more personal than an ingrown toenail? All right. Let me tell you what you can expect for today's family interactive experience. You're about to experience some friendly family competition. We're gonna start a brand new series called It's Personal, and then we're gonna end today with some family discussion. Now, before we get into all of that, I would love if you would take the next 60 seconds to fill out our online connection card. You can find it right on the main page of the LakePoint app. And what I love about the connection card is it serves as LakePoint's guest book. And so whether you're watching for the first time today or you've been watching for a while, we would love for you to sign our guest book this morning. It's also a great way for us to stay connected, and it provides you with an opportunity to sign up and see our current events and initiatives here at the church. So let's take the next 60 seconds and fill out the form together.
In 3, 2, 1.
Thanks for completing the online connection card and signing our guest book. Now, as we dive into our family interactive experience today, we're gonna start with some friendly family competition. I hope you're ready. All right, today we're gonna do something called the Straight Arm Water Bottle Challenge. All you need is a water bottle filled halfway with water. If you're really up for a challenge, you can use a cup of water. So what you're gonna do is with a straight arm, drink the water. And to be clear, a straight arm means that the elbow stays locked and doesn't bend. So hold the water bottle in your hand, and then you need to straighten your arm and lock your elbow. And then you're gonna drink the water while keeping your arm straight. You'll notice that it's impossible to bring the water to your mouth without bending your arm. So what you have to do is let gravity bring the water to you by raising your arm until the water begins to come out. Now, make sure for this challenge that you're standing on flooring that's able to be easily cleaned up, or flooring where you can, put a few towels underneath you to catch the water that misses your mouth. Remember, the goal is to have the least amount of water spilled. So let's see how you do. Now, make sure you capture this challenge on video and post it on our LakePoint Junior High Facebook group for the chance to win a prize. So, press pause, go and do the straight arm water bottle challenge, post the video in our Facebook group, and then jump back to the video as we move into our teaching series titled It's Personal. We are in a brand new 5-week series called It's Personal. We all have one thing in common. We don't want fake relationships. We want personal and real ones where people see, know, and value us for who we are. So in this series, we're gonna be taking a look at Jesus and his interactions with a man named Zacchaeus. We'll see 5 ways where Jesus made it personal and what that means for our lives. And we're gonna be taking our cues from the way Jesus did it to give us an idea of how to make just about everything, including our relationship with him and others, a little more personal. So let's check out week 1 of our series as Jesus has an encounter with a man named Zacchaeus.
Hey friends, I'm Candace. So right now, I want you to write down the names of as many people that you can think of who are important in your life. Let's go. All right. So hopefully you wrote down the names of everyone that you could think of who's important in your life. The people in your class, at church, your family, your team, all of the people that you know in a very personal way. Now, you know these people's names because they mean something to you, right? And if you're anything like me, you hope that you mean something to them in return. Now, that's why I think it really stings when people don't get your name right. I mean, is there anything worse than someone getting your name wrong? When you tell them your name and they forget, or when they should know your name, but they still just cannot get it right. Take a look at this. Candace. Now, I spell my name with an I, but that's nothing compared to this. Now check this out. So I've always gone to the same schools that my big sister's gone to, and I've always had the same teachers. And they were always calling me Tiffany. her name. So once we were sitting in class and the teacher saying, Tiffany, 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 and I'm minding my business because my name isn't Tiffany, so why in the world would I respond to that? And then I realized, oh, she's calling on me, and it was so embarrassing. Now, of course, when the barista at Starbucks or the substitute teacher called you by the wrong name, you don't really correct them, right? You just move on because chances are high that the relationship ends right there as soon as I walk out of the store with my drink. It's done. Them calling you the wrong name doesn't really impact your life beyond that very moment. You're not losing sleep because the guy in the Starbucks added an A instead of an I in Candace, or the substitute teacher couldn't figure out how to actually pronounce Aaron. But if your best friend, your coach, your group leader got your name wrong, if they misspelled it or mispronounced it or even forgot your name, well, that hurts. Why? Because they're supposed to be the people who really know you, right? They're the game-changing, important relationships in your life. They are the people that you listen to, that you lean on, the ones that you turn to, right? When you're in need. They are the people that you want to know your name because with them, it's personal. Now, the reality is we all want somebody to know our name. We all want to feel like someone knows us in a real way. It makes us feel important. It helps us to feel seen. You see, when someone really knows our name, it's a sign that they know us, and that feels personal. So many of us spend a lot of time looking for a friendship like that. We want the BFF, or someone who knows everything about us, from our favorite colors to our favorite shows to whatever it is that we are binge watching when we're supposed to be sleeping, right? The kind of friendship where someone understands us without even saying a word. We want someone who cares about us, values us, and stays right close to us. We want a friend who knows our name because they know us in a real and a personal way. But the reality is, you already have that. Do you know that? You already have a person in your life who knows you and loves you that way. And you know who that person is? That person is Jesus. Now, let me just stop here and acknowledge what you might be thinking. Of course, we're talking about Jesus. You're probably supposed to say that, Candace. Yeah. And yeah, I get why you think that, but I'm not just saying it because I have to. I'm saying it because it's true. Jesus knows each and every single one of us by name, not because Jesus has to, but because Jesus wants to. Jesus sees you and wants to know you in a real personal way. Now, I get that this is a hard thing for a lot of us to believe, and I understand why. I've been there. Because there's so many of us, Jesus doesn't seem all that personal. Maybe you feel like he's too big to notice you. If he's big enough to create this entire universe, then how could he possibly know us personally? We're not nearly that important, right? Or maybe you feel that way because it doesn't seem like he's there. You can't see him or hear him talk back to you. How can he know you so personally if you haven't heard or seen him? Maybe you feel like he's impersonal because you just don't know much about him. You're not sure if you believe in him or if he even gives you that much thought. That sure doesn't make him feel all that personal to you. You may even be wondering why you'd want to be known by him personally. To you, he's just someone who judges your every move or makes you follow a whole bunch of rules. You might think that he doesn't care about you, that he just cares about your behavior. But knowing you personally is about so much more than just knowing what you did right or wrong. Or maybe you feel like if he knew the real you, he wouldn't want to be close to you. The things that you have done, the mistakes that you have made, the thoughts that you think, those are the things that you don't want anyone to know about you personally. And no matter what you think or feel about Jesus, the reality is that Jesus does know your name. And it's not in some way that means that you're on his list or that he's got an eye on you. It's in a way that lets you know that to him, you matter. And he knows your name because to him, it's personal. To show what I mean, we're going to take a look at an encounter that Jesus had while he was here on earth with a guy named Zacchaeus. It's found in the book called Luke, which was written by one of Jesus' closest followers. Now let me set the scene for you. Jesus was coming into the town of Jericho with a crowd all around him. Just picture it, all around him. And by this time in his ministry, he had become pretty well known. People had seen Jesus do so many miracles, heal the sick, teach amazing things, and even saw him raise a man from the dead. Yeah. So basically, Jesus was a pretty big deal. And as Jesus was passing through this crowd, someone caught his eye. Someone caused him to stop. This is where we meet Zacchaeus. He has a little bit of a different reputation than Jesus. Now let's take a look. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was wealthy. Now, tax collectors in this time were viewed as being the worst, y'all. No one liked them at all. They cheated people out of so much money, and because of that, people saw them as outsiders and as traitors. All of that to say that Zacchaeus was not popular at all. On that day, Zacchaeus wanted to see Jesus. So as a shorter guy, he had to climb up a tree to get a glimpse. And in that tree, Zacchaeus got a lot more than he probably expected. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, "Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today." Now, think about this. Out of this huge crowd of people, Jesus stopped and called out to just this one guy, Zacchaeus. Jesus called his name. How startling it must have been for Zacchaeus that Jesus not only knew his name, but that he said his name out loud. Jesus called to him in front of everyone. Remember Zacchaeus, he was not popular with the crowd, and Zacchaeus knew it. He probably knew that Jesus knew it too. So to have Jesus not just notice him in that tree, but notice him by name, that was a big deal. That made it personal. And in that one moment, Jesus communicated that what he saw in Zacchaeus was different than what the rest of the world thought of him or saw in him. Jesus communicated that Zacchaeus had value to him. Zacchaeus was seen, he was known, and was valuable to Jesus, no matter what anyone else thought of him, no matter what he even thought of himself. And what's cool is that this is how Jesus sees us. He not only knows our name, but he calls it out. He uses it. He sees us for who we are. We are valuable creations of a loving and a personal God. When Jesus calls you by name, he's inviting you into a life with him. And when we accept that invitation, our relationship with him, it becomes real. It becomes personal. Personal began for Zacchaeus when he realized that Jesus knew his name, and the same is true for you. It's personal because Jesus knows your name. So what does this mean for you? How does this change the way that you see yourself or Jesus or even the other people? For some of you, it might begin with taking one step towards knowing more about Jesus. Zacchaeus climbed a tree to get a glimpse of Jesus. This was his first step towards personally experiencing Jesus. So maybe you need to climb a tree or take a step for yourself. No, not an actual tree. I mean, just take a step to get to know more about Jesus in a real and a personal way. Ask questions about Jesus or talk to your group leader about some of the things that might be holding you back. You can even look up the story of Zacchaeus yourself to get started. Whatever it is, take a step to help you know the one who knows your name. Others of you know Jesus in a personal way. You stepped into a relationship with him and you know the value of being close to a personal God who knows your name. Because of what Jesus did for you, you can do the same for others. You see, Jesus doesn't just invite us into a relationship with him. He invites us to know names alongside him. Check out the command he gives us to all his followers. Jesus replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself." In this passage, Jesus told us first to love him, and second, to love others, to make it personal to the people in our lives. Now, we can do this by first knowing their name. Just like someone knowing our name makes us feel seen and valued, when we know someone's name and use it to talk to or about them, it gives them the same feeling. It's a simple act that lets someone else know that you care about them in a real and a personal way. And remember, it's personal because Jesus knows your name. The reason I want to talk about this stuff is because I really believe it has the potential to change your life for the better. That personal relationship with Jesus, I want that for each and every one of you. And I want you to have a place where you feel seen and where you feel known and where you feel valued, and a place where everybody knows your name. So as you head to your group, I want you to remember that it's personal because Jesus knows your name. And then think about this question. How does it make me feel when someone knows my name?
God knows our names. I love that so much. It's so comforting that the big and powerful God of our universe cares so much about little old me that he knows my name. Maybe for you, this idea that God knows your name is very moving. The fact that the God of the universe wants to know you personally, that can be life-changing and powerful for you. For others, it might seem scary. Maybe you see God as this big, mean being who wants to punish you. Maybe the thought of God knowing you personally might bring on a lot of fear and judgment. Some of you might think that this whole concept is just kind of strange or hard to believe. And some of you might even find it unimportant or insignificant. And so wherever you're at with processing that God calls us by name and invites us into a relationship with him, I want you to know that when we accept his invitation, our relationship with him becomes real. It becomes personal. And it's personal because he knows our name. So how do we in turn make it personal? Well, as we learn today, we can take a step toward knowing more about Jesus in a personal way. And we can make it personal with the people in our lives by knowing their name and making them feel valued. It's my heart that each and every one of you participating online and on-site would have a personal relationship with Jesus. And we want LakePoint Junior High to be a place where you're seen and known and valued, and it's personal for you too. Remember, it's personal because Jesus knows your name. So how does it make you feel when someone knows your name? Let's talk about it today during our discussion time. Parents, this is where we're going to turn things over to you. In a moment, you'll see some questions on your screen. Grab the remote and press pause for as long as you need to create meaningful discussion around the questions. Remember that these questions are just a guide, so feel free to rephrase them in a way that engages your student. After you've had a meaningful discussion, press play and join me for some closing thoughts. Thanks for a great week at junior high, everyone. Remember to post in our LakePoint Junior High Facebook group a photo of you and the family participating today, or even that video of the straight arm water bottle challenge. As we end today, why don't you take the next 2 minutes and head to the LakePoint app to access our weekday devotionals, and you can find those in the family resources section right on the main page of the app. I hope you have a great day, everyone. I'll see you next time at LakePoint Junior High Online.